hello and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, a lot has changed. First and foremost, she's fringing. I've never had a fringe in my life. Am I going through a midlife crisis? Maybe. But no, I just thought since my wrinkles were appearing on my forehead, put a fringe there to cover it and make me look younger. Yay. The other update is, as you can see, I've got a different background. It's been about how many years since I've done a video? I'm sorry. But with that being said, hi, hello. I moved Korea. I left Korea, goodbye. I am currently living in Shanghai and I wanted to do a little update video of everything, just kind of why I moved to Korea, 6 months into living in Shanghai, little things I've learned, and what my channel will kind of entail going forward if I keep up with it. Fingers crossed. But yes, if you don't know, my name is Odessa and I am originally from New Zealand. I was creating content on YouTube for a couple of years of my life living in South Korea, specifically Seoul, and I did a lot of teaching videos and videos that I guess helped a lot of people. I got a lot of messages on Instagram and stuff saying that I was one of the people that influenced them to move to Korea and my videos helped you guys out, which is so great, and it really touched me, and I've made a lot of friends through my videos. Actually, I got a message a couple months ago and it kind of stemmed me to make this video because I think people have a lot of questions of why I've moved, because I show that I love Korea so much, and I do love Korea so much, but there was just other reasons why I left. So here is a little update video on why I left South Korea. So yes, like I said, I lived in South Korea for 5 years, almost 6 years, and I ended up deciding to leave South Korea mid last year. So I kind of made that decision start of 2025, and I was looking for a job, and a job came to me that fit, and I was actually planning to move to China this year in August. I just felt like it was a little bit too quick for me to move last year, but as you can see, it never happened because I was offered a job that kind of fit perfectly, and I just decided to move last year instead. So I moved to Shanghai in August. And I was teaching in South Korea for 5 years, specifically in public and private school, and I am also teaching here at a international bilingual kindergarten. So I will do separate videos on like teaching in China, getting jobs in China, all of that stuff in the future. But yes, so I am a teacher still in Shanghai. What are the reasons? Why did I leave? There was two big reasons. The first one was China was always my first option. I think I talked about this a long time ago, but China was always my first option. When I did my 1 month, it was like for my university degree, my dance degree, we could take a paper where we could teach kids in China for a month as well as perform. And we did that in 2017, and I fell in love with China doing that and being here for a month. And so after that, I was like, I definitely want to move to Shanghai at some point of my life. And I was actually planning to move to Shanghai in 2019, 2020, but COVID hit. So obviously I couldn't come to China, and then I still wanted to leave New Zealand. I just felt very stagnant in my life there as a young 23-year-old. I felt like Auckland was just a little bit slow for me. It was just so expensive. I was drowning in debt and I was kind of sick of it. So that's why I decided to move to Korea, because I went and traveled to Korea in 2018 with my friend, and we did Japan and Korea, and I just fell in love with Korea. And I also had a friend who was like, you should check out Korea if you can't go to China, because Korea's got very similar vibes, but it's also like very cool and young and hip. And so I ended up living in Korea. It was only meant to be for 2 years, 1 year really, and then I ended up staying for 5 years. But I think the whole thing was China was always there. It was always going to be a place that I eventually moved to. I just didn't think it was going to take that long. I loved living in Korea. I made amazing friends. My life there was amazing, but I think I moved there thinking that I could save money and pay off debts, and I ended up living in this cycle of like living paycheck to paycheck as well in Korea. And I started getting more into debt because I also had credit cards in Korea. And so I just felt like I was not really getting anywhere. Even though I loved living there, it was actually quite expensive, and the lifestyle that I wanted wasn't really fitting with my paycheck. And if you guys didn't know, you don't get really paid very well in Korea as a teacher. And I think so the main reason why I moved to Shanghai was money. I wanted to be paid a lot more, and China is the place for it. It's one of the best countries to be paid as a teacher. So that's why one of the big reasons was money, and to just hopefully get myself out of debt. That's the biggest thing. I was able to pay quite a lot off in Korea, but not fast enough. I want to be debt free. I want all my student loans gone. I want credit cards gone, all of that. And so it was very slow in Korea, and I felt like I was doing the maths, and I was like, I think I could do it within 2 years of living in China. So another reason, and kind of one of the big things that pushed me to really pursue China, was in 2014. 2014, girl, no, 2024. 2024, I was actually in a long-term relationship with a Korean guy for 2 years, and I'm going to link the podcast of my really good friend. I spill the whole beans on my relationship there with details, but yeah, overall he cheated, he transferred, he picked another girl from Canada. But all the details are down below, I know, saucy. And when she came to see him, he took her to all my favorite places that I took him to. He would take him to my favorite areas of Korea, and he kind of just tainted it for me. He kind of tainted Korea, or tainted Seoul for me. And at that point, I just felt like I was kind of suffocating, because I moved closer to him, and so the area was really close to him, and so I got stressed of possibly seeing him with his new girl, and then like all of that, and I was just getting overwhelmed, and I was like, you know what, why don't I just move to China? And I think I had a conversation with my mum, because I was so set on being like, no, I'm gonna go to China in 2026. It will definitely happen. I can't move right now, it's too quick. And then I had a conversation with my mum, and she was like, why are you moving to China? I was like, to be honest, money. And she was like, well, why don't you want to move to China? And I was like, friends. I love my friends so much, and I just don't feel like I could let go so quickly. And she was like, but you could be earning money right now instead of having to wait a year. Like, why don't you just go? And then I kind of am a person who like believes things happen for a reason, and I was applying for jobs, and it's quite hard to get jobs in China. And I ended up getting a job offer. Well, I interviewed, got a job offer. It ticked all the boxes, and it seemed like a really good school. And so I ended up being like asking all my friends, and they were like, just take it. So I ended up taking it, and I literally told all my friends in Korea, no, I'm like leaving in 2026. And then I had to break the news, by the way, I'm leaving in 3 months. And yeah, so it was a really quick turnaround. I think I got the job in February, and then I had to be in China by August. Because the semesters in Korea and China don't add up, I had to leave my current job in Korea quickly. And so luckily my job was really good, and they allowed me to leave 2 weeks early. It was just setting up anyway, and my kids already graduated, so it was kind of okay. And then I literally I'm gonna do a whole story on things you shouldn't do when you're moving to China, because I did all the things you shouldn't have done moving to China and not preparing myself for the move from one Asian country to another. Shit show. Oh, awful. I will tell you that, because I nearly had like 10 mental breakdowns during that process of like my first month living here. But yeah, I moved here. I literally started work the next day. I met my kids' parents literally 2 days after I arrived. I had no time to relax. I went straight into it. I had 5 days in a hotel, and within those 5 days I had to look for an apartment and secure one. And I didn't know that with housing you're meant to pay, it was like I didn't have my severance at the moment from my work, and I thought I would get it at my last pay, which would be okay to find housing, but it turned out my severance gets paid at the end of the month. So that money that was going to pay for all my deposits and stuff here wasn't coming, and I didn't have the money. So luckily my real estate agent and my landlord was great, and they allowed me to pay a lot later than required. So yeah, the first month living here or moving here was a mess. It was just a lot. I just think there was definitely a lot of things that I should have done, and if I did it again, what I would have done, because I made it difficult for myself when I didn't need it to be that difficult. First and foremost, giving myself a week or two to just settle. I was really thrown into everything, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it really just stopped me from, you know, realizing I left one of my favorite countries in the world, and I didn't have enough time to grieve, I guess, like leaving, because I don't think I was fully ready to leave Korea, but I just didn't have enough time to think about it. I didn't have enough time to miss my friends. I didn't have enough time to, like, it really hit me until a couple months in, when I was able to already make friends that made the transition from moving to Korea to China a lot easier. So I was really lucky that I was able to find some really good friends here really quick. I already had a few friends here, so that made the move a little bit easier, because I had already a little bit of a support system here. But yeah, that was kind of the reason why I left Korea. It was never the jobs, it was never anything else. My jobs in Korea, I was very lucky. I had really good hagwons, to be honest. If I ever moved back to Korea, I think I would move back to my old school. They were great. It was a lot of work, but overall it was a really good place, and the people there were amazing. So yeah, so it was never work or anything. To be fair though, I must admit, having the holidays that we do, the pay that we do, the sick leave we do, personal leaves that you have in China, definitely makes you realize, this lifestyle is a lot better than Korea. Like Korea, I feel like everyone's just living on go, like just always go, 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 and you don't really have a lot of time to yourself, and I think it definitely breaks people down, and also creates a place that makes it very hard to actually settle down and make it a place worth living for a very long time. Some real truth about living in Korea, and what I kind of like realized in the long term things of it. What else? Yeah, so I've been here for 6 months now, and I really enjoy it. I feel like I settled really quickly. Maybe it was because, like I said, I threw myself into it, but overall I'm really enjoying it. A lot of people ask me, oh, like, do you miss Korea? Do you know, which one's better and all of that, and they are similar and they're also very different at the same time. Obviously I lived in Korea for so long, so I'm always gonna say I love Korea. Korea is my favorite, but there are a lot of charms to Shanghai, and I do feel like I will definitely love this country just as much as Korea. I have definitely made up my mind that I will be staying a minimum of 2 years in China. My school's really good. I've made friends, so I don't feel lonely here, and yeah, I can definitely see myself living here for a while, I think. So that's exciting. But yeah, in terms of going forward, I really hope to create a lot of content on kind of like what I did in Korea, about my recommendations, vlogs, living in Korea. Slip that one up. Living in Shanghai, and like my favorite things to do, vlogging, real life here as a solo gal, and also just showing what life is like here, as well as comparing living in Korea, living in Shanghai, pros, cons. Also, I will do my full rundown of teaching in Korea, teaching in China, and also like how to find housing here, what to look out for, jobs, all of that good stuff. So I will probably be making those videos quite soon. Also, I just did a house tour, so that will probably be up after this video, so that's exciting. Get prepared for that. So yeah, that is the update, guys. I'm sorry I waffled, but there was just so much to talk about. And yeah, if you have any more comments or questions, comment down below. I will leave my socials also down below. You can DM me on Instagram if you have questions about Korea or questions about Shanghai. I can happily answer those for you. I'd love for you guys to stick around and keep up with the channel, because there will be lots of stuff happening, fingers crossed. And yeah, kaketia no, see you guys around. Bye. See you later. Bye.